Have you ever considered what would happen if the power went out right now, not just for hours, but indefinitely? Picture this. One moment, you're engrossed in your daily routine. The next, everything goes dark. The hum of your refrigerator, the whir of your computer fan, the tick of your digital clock, all silenced in an instant. This isn't your typical power outage that gets resolved in a few hours. No, this is something far more sinister, a complete and indefinite loss of power. In the immediate aftermath, confusion reigns. With no access to television, the internet, or phone lines, communication becomes a challenge. The silence is deafening, broken only by the occasional car alarm or distant siren. The usual hustle and bustle of life are replaced by an eerie calm, punctuated by the sounds of confusion and panic. As the minutes tick by, the reality of the situation starts to sink in. The electric stove won't heat up your dinner, the electric kettle won't boil your water, and the microwave won't warm your leftovers. The food in your refrigerator begins to spoil, and the ice in your freezer starts to melt. Within a few hours, your home, once a haven of modern conveniences, becomes just a shell of its former self. Meanwhile, outside, traffic lights are dark, causing confusion and chaos on the roads. The evening rush hour becomes a nightmare as drivers navigate the intersections without guidance. Public transportation grinds to a halt, stranding commuters far from home. In hospitals, emergency generators kick in, providing a lifeline to critical patients. But these generators have their limits, and as fuel supplies dwindle, the situation becomes increasingly precarious. Stores and businesses close their doors, unable to process transactions or provide services. ATMs and credit card machines stand useless, their screens blank, their card slots dark. And in the midst of all this, a sense of fear and uncertainty takes hold. Without access to news or information, rumors start to spread, fueling panic and leading to potential unrest. As you can see, the first minutes and hours after the power goes out can be chaotic and disorienting. But don't lose hope. Understanding the potential challenges of a total power outage is the first step towards preparing for such a scenario. What happens when the ATMs and credit card machines stop working? This question might sound like a plot from a dystopian novel, but in the event of a catastrophic power outage, it could become our reality. In today's society, we're incredibly reliant on digital financial systems. Our wages are directly deposited into our bank accounts, we pay our bills online, and we use credit or debit cards for everyday purchases. But imagine a world where these conveniences have vanished overnight. Suddenly, money as we know it changes. Without power, ATMs and credit card machines become useless chunks of metal. Bank branches can't operate, and online banking is a thing of the past. We find ourselves in a cash-only society, but with a significant hitch. Cash is scarce because we've moved away from it in favor of digital transactions. This sudden scarcity of money can lead to a ripple effect of economic consequences. Prices for goods and services might skyrocket due to demand and scarcity, while others might plummet. The value of money could change drastically, and not necessarily for the better. So how do we manage our finances in such a scenario? One option is to keep a stash of cash on hand. It may seem old-fashioned, but in this type of emergency, it could be a lifesaver. Bartering could also make a comeback. This age-old practice of exchanging goods and services without the use of money could become a viable means of survival. You might trade a bag of rice for a gallon of gas, or a few candles for a bottle of water. Cryptocurrencies could potentially play a role too, provided there's a way to access them. They're decentralized and don't rely on traditional banking systems. However, they do require an internet connection, which might be a hurdle in a power outage. All these alternatives require planning ahead. They underline the importance of being prepared, not just for the immediate aftermath of a power outage, but for the long-term changes that could follow. Without access to digital transactions, managing finances becomes a whole new challenge. But with foresight and preparation, you can navigate this new landscape and ensure your survival in a world without power. When refrigeration fails and water treatment plants stop operating, how will you secure your food and water supply? The answer lies in preparation, innovation, and thoughtful use of resources. Let's start with food. Without refrigeration, perishables will spoil quickly, so stocking up on non-perishable items is crucial. Think canned goods, dried beans, rice, pasta, and dehydrated foods. These items have long shelf lives and can provide needed nutrients, but what about meat and dairy? In the absence of a fridge, consider alternatives like canned or powdered milk and canned meats. You can also explore traditional food preservation methods like salting, smoking, or drying meats. Now let's turn to water. It's easy to take our water supply for granted, but in a power outage, water treatment plants may stop functioning. This could lead to a shortage of clean drinking water. It's recommended to store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for drinking and sanitation. But what if your stored supply runs out? You can collect rainwater, or if you're near a body of fresh water, that can be a source, though it'll need to be purified. Boiling is a simple yet effective method, killing most bacteria and viruses. Water purification tablets or solar stills are also good options. In a pinch, your water heater, toilet tank, not the bowl, of course, or even canned foods can provide emergency water sources. But remember, always purify water from questionable sources to avoid illness. And here's a tip. Maintaining a small vegetable garden can not only supplement your food supply, but can also be a morale booster. There's something about tending plants and eating fresh produce that can lift spirits in tough times. Surviving without power means getting creative with your food and water sources. It's about planning ahead, using what's available wisely, and adapting to a new way of life. With these strategies, you'll be better prepared to face a world without power, ensuring the survival and well-being of you and your loved ones. If the heating and air conditioning systems shut down, how will you maintain a livable temperature in your home? An intriguing question indeed. In the absence of conventional power, keeping your home warm or cool will definitely require some creativity and resourcefulness. Let's start with heating. Wood-burning stoves are a classic and effective solution. They're efficient and can be used for cooking as well, but remember, ventilation is key to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. If a wood stove isn't an option, propane heaters can also be a practical alternative. These heaters are portable and handy, but they also need proper ventilation. Now, what about when it's sweltering outside and there's no air conditioning? Well, you can turn to passive cooling techniques. These are methods that don't require electricity and have been used for centuries across the world. For instance, you might create a wind tunnel by strategically opening windows and doors to promote airflow. Darkening your home during the day can also keep it cooler. In extreme heat, a damp cloth on your forehead or the back of your neck can be surprisingly effective. You can also make use of the cool night air. Open your windows and doors when the temperature drops to let the cool breeze in, then close them again as soon as the sun rises to trap the cooler air inside. Don't forget insulation. It's not just for keeping heat in during the winter, it also keeps heat out during the summer. Insulating your home properly can make a big difference in maintaining comfortable temperatures. And finally, dressing for the weather is just as important indoors as it is outdoors. In cold weather, layer up with warm clothing and use blankets. In hot weather, wear light, breathable fabrics to help your body stay cool. In conclusion, without power, keeping your home at a comfortable temperature will require some ingenuity. But by using these time-tested methods, you can ensure a livable environment for you and your family, no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. Without electricity, how will you cook your meals and stay informed about what's happening in the world? In a world without power, the basic act of cooking can become a complex task. But with a bit of forethought, you can still enjoy a hot meal, even when the grid's down. Propane stoves are a popular choice for their portability and ease of use. Just make sure you have a sufficient supply of propane tanks stored safely away. Wood stoves, on the other hand, offer a more sustainable solution. They can be used not only for cooking but also for heating your home. However, they require a consistent supply of wood, so you'll need to plan accordingly. Solar cookers are another fantastic option. They harness the power of the sun to cook your meals, making them an excellent choice for sunny climates. Just remember, these cookers are weather-dependent and won't function on cloudy days or at nighttime. But what about staying informed? In a power outage, our usual channels of information, television, internet, cell phones, may be silenced. But that doesn't mean you're cut off from the world. Battery-powered radios can provide local news updates and emergency broadcasts. Make sure to have plenty of spare batteries on hand. Ham radios or amateur radios are another great tool for information gathering. They allow you to communicate directly with others in your community or even around the world, depending on the frequency and atmospheric conditions. Ham radios do require a license to operate legally, so it's worth looking into getting certified now, before disaster strikes. And don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned word of mouth. In times of crisis, communities often come together. Neighbors can be an invaluable source of information, and you can support each other through the challenges that lie ahead. Cooking and staying informed without power is a challenge, but with the right knowledge and tools, it's entirely possible. A prolonged power outage can thrust our society back into a pre-electric age. Are you prepared? Imagine just for a moment that you're living in a world without electricity. No lights, no refrigeration, no internet, no banking. The cash machines and credit card systems you took for granted are now relics of a bygone era. Your home, once a haven of modern conveniences, has been transformed into a silent, darkened shell. In the immediate aftermath, you'd feel the effects right away. ATMs and card systems would fail, disrupting our financial institutions and leaving us scrambling to manage our finances. Without power, your fridge and freezer would stop working, and food preservation would become a pressing concern. And let's not forget heating and cooling. Without HVAC systems, maintaining a comfortable temperature becomes a serious challenge, but don't worry, we've got you covered. In this video, we've explored strategies for preserving food without refrigeration and securing a safe water supply. We've discussed alternative cooking methods using propane, wood stoves, or solar cookers. And we've looked at the importance of staying informed using battery-powered radios or ham radios to keep updated on the situation. The truth is, a prolonged power outage could thrust us back into a pre-electric era where survival becomes our top priority. But with the knowledge you've gained today, you're equipped to navigate the chaos. You're prepared to keep yourself and your family safe. We've taken a journey into the unknown, into a world without power. But it's not a journey without hope. With preparation, resilience, and the right tools, we can face this challenge head-on. Remember, the key to surviving a major power outage is preparation. So, start preparing today. You never know when the lights might go out, but when they do, you'll be ready.